And welcome to another edition of Visit Las Cruces Live, the real New Mexico podcast. I'm your host, Ed Carnathan. We'll have weekly guests, ideas on fun things to do right here in the Las Cruces area, the scoop on local businesses, cool things to check out, and a whole lot more. You can get your podcast on most podcast apps or listen online at visitlascruces.com. And today we have a very special guest. Anahy is with us, and I don't know why we haven't had you on yet. It occurred to me the other day, we haven't had Anahy and Aaron on, and we need to talk about many things that you guys are into. But, the first time I met you, you guys were stalking me. You were outside my window.
We just wanted to serenade you, with our musical, craziness while we painted the mural.
Right. You guys are playing some jams. I remember.
It keeps us motivated. It keeps it fun.
But Anahy and her husband Aaron were the painters of our mural.
Yes.
That's on the outside of the Visit Las Cruces building, and let's start with how you came up with the idea.
Okay, so I had seen the call online, and I was like, you know what? Why not?
Right.
Let me just kind of throw my hat in the ring. I don't even know if that's the correct thing.
Sure.
But so basically, having done a couple of murals in New Mexico.
This wasn't the first mural.
Right. So having done a couple of them, I was like, okay, well, what can we do with this building? It's such a prominent building. I wanted to make sure that, first the design fit the building.
Right.
Which, it wasn't hard. It's a square. But still, I wanted to make sure that it accentuated it. And then also the design came from, really trying to think of what the call wanted. They wanted tourism, and they wanted to really kind of embody, okay, if you had to, in a nutshell, describe Las Cruces visually,
right,
what would it be, And
right.
I just thought to myself, okay, we have beautiful landscapes. Like our mountains obviously must be featured.
Right.
The Roadrunner, because it's classic New Mexico. But not just that, we have a lot of, outdoor activities. We have a lot of agricultural people. I wanted to make sure, the farming community was represented. The Rio Grande, when, they do the Raft the Rio, it's a really big deal here in Las Cruces. People hike, people like to ride their bikes, they climb, and I wanted to make sure that, hey, if you are here, just driving through and you just look at this picture, these are the things that we offer you right off the bat for you to come. Yeah. If I could have included all of the Mexican restaurants or all the great food here, I would have definitely added all of this, but it was just very much what's going to be visually beautiful, but also encompass, the city and what it offers.
Right.
So that was it. And then the colors were obviously inspired by our sunset and the landscape, and it kind of weirdly just came together after a while. So it was really a fun time, but I also wanted to kind of represent travel. So that's why I kind of threw in the scalloping of the post stamp, Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. It was challenging for sure. I use a lot of black in my normal artwork. So this one has literally not a single thing of black, no black in it at all. So it was really, challenging to step outside of my normal box, but I also wanted to make sure that it was appealing to multiple people's aesthetics, so because the whole art is objective thing is a real thing, and I wanted to make sure if I could just kind of get across the board, make sure everybody kind of enjoys looking at it. That was the goal. So
and there's a whole bunch of different postmarks throughout the design as well.
Yes. So the secondary part of it is the extension, which is passport stamp inspired.
Right.
So, I did the folklorico dancers because, New Mexico, we have a huge folklorico culture here. When I was little, I was in folklorico when I was little.
Oh.
So, it was just so natural. The three crosses, because we're just known for that. Our city is the crosses.
Right.
The chili, because New Mexico chili. Let's just
Well,
say where it's at. Come on. And then, just, basic things, the quails, Roadrunner just by itself. We have a huge wine country, wineries, and so I wanted to make sure to include that. Yep. The pecans. A lot of people, don't realize how much the pecan industry, thrives in New Mexico.
It's one of our biggest agricultural businesses in town.
Exactly. So I wanted to make sure that we incorporated that. And so, we're just kind of trying to take little bits and pieces as we could and visually represent them as simplistically as possible. So it was a lot of fun.
All right. So when you saw the call, and you decided, all right, we're going to do this. Right? What do you do? Do you just sit in a dark room and you're bouncing ideas off the wall? Are you guys writing stuff down? What is that process?
It's mostly just sitting there and crying because it doesn't come out of your brain the way you see it immediately. But so my process personally was actually pretty funny. It was I built a mock-up out of like cardboard boxes of the building, and I just started putting tracing paper over it, and I was like, okay, I don't like this doodle, and as soon as I got somewhere with it, then I took a picture of it or scanned it in, and then I went digitally, and then I was, adding layers, taking things off, mixing them with the colors, printing them, rewrapping the building, seeing if I liked it at all, and then once I finally got to the place where I was like, this is it, this is the one I'm going to present. Then I wrapped it on the building, and that's what I brought up here, like a science project. I was like, this is my mock-up. I feel like what I've learned as a tattooer is people need that visual representation. I could show you this printout of the building, but if I can show you how it would look 3D on the building, wrapped around just like I envisioned it, how the cactus really kind of breaks the frame and wraps around the side. Right. I feel like that really has more of an impact in when they receive it than if I was just to present, an email or a flat printout. So I wanted to make sure to really kind of like, hey, this is where I see it. I want you guys to see it exactly how I see it. So that was really important for me to show them that if I could.
Well, it's been a little bit more than a year now that the mural's been up, and I can tell you that it's been highly successful. We've had tons of people coming by the office, and they all want to take a picture out there. They all ask questions about it. So congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really excited. That's exactly what we wanted. We wanted people to be like, hey, let's go stand in front of it and take pictures. People that come through our shop are always like, oh yeah, that looks really nice. Thank you so much. And I'm thrilled. I generally tend to be kind of, introverted as an artist. So this is one of my most public and largest installations I've ever done. So I'm really glad with the reception that the city had. Everybody was super kind. When we did the ribbon cutting, it was just so overwhelming, it was just so many people there. It was a lot of love. I was really, really grateful. Really grateful to my husband because those 21 days in March straight, March, you don't really know what to expect weather-wise. Right. And so one day it was sunny, and then the next day it was windy, and then the next day it was raining, and we're just like, oh my goodness, how are we going to make it, Right. And then being on lifts, you have to make sure you have your precautionary. Oh, yeah. If it's too windy, you can't be up there for a certain amount of time. But it was honestly like the most challenging and most rewarding piece of art that I've been able to put out into the world.
It's the largest, I imagine, right? Largest piece of art you've ever done.
Exactly. And I'm super grateful. I have so much more respect for these muralists that I see that are like scaling these multi-story buildings on the side with scaffolding, just like hanging on the side of the building. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I could never, even just being this high up on the lift, it was, really I was jittery up there, right. but it has, it's made me more disciplined and made me want to do more projects like that, take on more larger scale, challenging artwork. So it's been really gratifying.
Sure. Now, you and your husband, Aaron, own a tattoo shop. We're going to talk about that in the next episode. Yes. But you've opened a little shop next door.
Yes. So the little store was actually our original tattoo shop location. We were fortunate enough to expand next door. And we wanted to utilize the space because at the time, we've been there for 12 years. At the time, everything was still kind of developing. And we didn't really have like a gift shop per se downtown that was specifically New Mexico centric. A lot of my artwork already is very inspired by my heritage, my culture, my upbringing, our surroundings. And my mom and my family, there are a lot of crafters. Like it just runs in our family. So we figured, why not have just a little brick and mortar space for us to really kind of offer these creations to the city, or whoever travels through. We get a lot of people that, are coming through and they're just like, I want this, or I want a t-shirt, or I want a shot glass, or, something like that. So
all kinds of tourists come in all the time. And we have some stuff in our visitors center, but obviously you'll be another place that we recommend people to go to.
Absolutely.
They come in, they want a t-shirt that says Las Cruces or New Mexico.
Yes, you guys have lovely merchandise.
Some great stuff, but tell us some of the things that you do have in the store.
So, besides, your typical
t-shirts.
Yes, we have imported things. Some from Mexico. We like to go, and we have family down there, so we'll go check out some vendors. We have hand tooled leather purses. We'll have these woven bags. We have embroidered clothing. We have the classic sarape saltillo blankets. We have aprons made out of them. They're just doing so much cool things with that kind of stuff. But then we'll also have these like novelty type of gifts. We have these little coin purses that are like shaped like avocados or a torta or, a little candy or, you name it. But it's very it's, eclectic. You'll never know what you'll find in there. We got pins, we got croc charms, we have, or gibbets, and then we have
gibbets.
Libby glasses.
What's a gibbet?
Oh, you haven't seen the crocs where they, have them all decorated?
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Those
little decoration
the little
things.
decorators,
Okay.
yeah. So,
All right,
but we like to keep it more in the,
I have teenage daughters. I should know that by now. Come on.
And they're so popular. Everybody in my family has Crocs now, and they all have little, Croc charms on there. So, but yeah, we just offer, a myriad of stuff. But we also offer customization. I've been doing a lot of wrapping vinyl on trailers for my, my family's business. We have T-shirts that we do. We offer, printing services, that sort of thing. So we're definitely trying to expand that. So look for that more in the future. If you guys have any projects you need, printed, et cetera, or even designed, come see us. We take on commissions and stuff like that.
Well, obviously, Anahy, you're a full-blown artist. Absolutely, right? When did that come on? Like when you were a young child?
Yeah.
When you were...
If you ask my mom, the only thing that would ever get me to sit still, just like be quiet and sit still, was if she gave me a coloring book and some markers or some crayons or anything that was craft-wise that I could use my hands. That was just it for me. She was like, oh my goodness, this keeps her quiet. So she would just constantly have me with arts and crafts. She worked at Michael's for a little while. So I would get to go and, look at all the stuff and get to, find fun new, mediums, fabric paint on T-shirts, that sort of thing. So it's always just been whatever I could get my hands on, sculpting, that sort of thing. It was since I can remember, honestly. Yeah. So I've been really grateful to be able to make it a career and have such a supportive community. Las Cruces is incredible. New Mexico is a great place. It's been really amazing. I never expected to be where I'm at now, if I'm being 100% honest. So it's been great.
So you guys have the tattoo shop. You have your little store next door. You're doing all kinds of different art. What's next? What are you guys going to come up with next?
So we have been doing a lot of traveling, doing a lot of tattoo conventions around the country. Hopefully next year we start on the international, convention circuit. That's the goal. And, we're always looking for the next opportunity, collaboration. We're open. We're just ready to take on whatever gets presented to us or, kind of submit for the next, project. We'll see. I keep an eye out all the time on the, cafe accounts just to see if there's a new, call for entry that I can, throw in a design or two. But so far it's just, travel, really kind of represent Las Cruces as best as we can and, bring a little bit of home to the people. So it's been nice.
Well, the mural you did here is your largest piece, and we hope that that's not the end for you. Hopefully you do something even bigger.
Oh, I would love nothing than to just cover the city in artwork. I would love to. And, I feel like living here, you learn a lot about it. And when it comes down to, making sure that you represent Las Cruces, I think if you live here, you really know the city and the people and, and especially, the community. I like to be involved in knowing the persona, I guess, if you will, so I definitely want to continue to, put art wherever I can,
Well, if somebody wants to contact you and find out how you could help them with some sort of project or something, how do they get in touch with you?
So we do have our website. It's adambaumstudio.com, real straightforward, and it has a contact tab on there. You can always submit a form to get a hold of us, or, you feel free to walk in. I know
come on by.
With all the things we have going on, our emails kind of get a little crazy, but we're always open from 12 to 8. You can come in, talk to us.
Monday through Fridays, weekends?
It's actually Tuesday through Saturday.
Tuesday through Saturday,
12 to 8. So, yeah, you're more than welcome to come in. Wednesday specifically, we have available for consultations. So if you have nothing going on and you have 5-10 minutes, come in, talk to us, let us know what you're looking for, and we can get the process started.
Well, thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you, Ed.
We really appreciate it. And we have a final question for you, okay? And we always ask everybody this final question before they leave. So when you're talking with somebody that's never been to Las Cruces before or doesn't know anything about our area, what do you tell them is your favorite thing?
The food. Immediately. The food is just fantastic. I mean, besides the people, everybody that does travel from the shop tells us that everybody's super nice here, but the food is just my favorite. I always talk about it. Every time we go anywhere, I'm like, come visit us. We will take you to restaurants that are just fantastic, and you will always think about this place. Yeah. So.
Well, thank you so much. Anahy.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Anahy, our guest, and again, she did the mural outside our building, a tattoo artist. artist in general, anything that you have, and she's ready.
Exactly. If it sits still, I'll paint on it.
That's going to do it for another edition of Visit Las Cruces Live, The Real New Mexico. Check us out on most podcast apps. You can also listen online at visitlascruces.com. I'm Ed Carnathan. We'll catch you next time right here on Visit Las Cruces Live, The Real New Mexico.